Is it true that sometimes there are substitution of image, meaning that someone who has committed a crime has been convicted, and then somebody else who is innocent may be substituted in order to grant, to release, the convict? There have been so many of such stories.
On the issue of substitution of inmates, this is not correct. Every inmate in any of our centers has his or her own warrant. So on that basis, we cannot at any time change the name or substitute any inmate to another. Because when an inmate is being sent to any of our correctional centers, that inmate has his or her own warrant being sent down to our centers through the Court of Justice. So we cannot at any time do that.
How many prisons do we have? And their categories, whether it is medium security, maximum security, lower security. Of these, how many of them are now properly fenced? And when we talk about fence, not bamboo fencing, concrete fencing. Take into account the money allocated to you over the past couple of years for the purpose of these capital projects. So you will be giving us not approximately, in specific terms, what we have of ground in each of these facilities. And let me just put you on notice, the committee may decide to go and do oversight and cite the facility. So if you say about 40%, we will go with our tapes and our quality surveyors. We can hire consultants to measure what has been done in relation to the amount that was budgeted for those purposes. And flow from the question by my distinguished brother from Imo and my distinguished brother from Oshu State. The issue is not what led to this jailbreak. You've spoken to that. What are you doing now to prevent reoccurrence? Are you rebuilding the facilities?
Part of those things that we have done now.
I think we need to take your pen and so I can summarize.
How many inmates do we have across the country? How many of them are condemned? How many of them are waiting trials? So I'm wondering, to what extent, if you cannot say exactly the number of correctional centers we have and the number of them that are fenced, are we going to be able to say this is the number of Nigerians or foreigners who are serving different jail terms, including those who are waiting trials? That's question number one. 1A part of it as well. I have been involved with JAM for some time, and I'm also aware of what they call the opportunity group, where they conduct exams for inmates. I've read through this report. One of the challenges you put there is inadequacy of space to organize vocational training for inmates. Again, in this area of virtual classrooms, have you also thought of a situation where, rather than a physical space, all we require is a virtual classroom where even the lecturers can be anywhere and be teaching the inmates?
In many of those centers, custodial centers that are choked up, congested with inmates, it is, although we have the educational process running, it is not possible for all the centers to provide a room. So the issue of virtual classroom could have been possible, but then we also lack the facilities. The funding is not there that can provide all these things that will allow for virtual classroom. And that is why it is not going to be easily possible for now. except the funding is made available. But in some of the custodial centers, we do have classrooms where teachers, and most of the teachers are even our staff that are running those classes, especially in the Open University and those that are sitting for WAEC and GC.
As of today, we have male inmates, both convict and awaiting trial. We have 79,341 male. For female, 79,341 inmates, male, all over the Federation. Good convicts and awaiting trials. 79,341. Yeah, for female, we have 1,793. 1,793, making a total of 81,134. We have female inmates with their babies. We have 69 all over the Federation, sir.
How did you describe the female with
babies? Some of them, they were pregnant when they had their problem. They gave birth while they are in our custody. They were pregnant before they came in. So now they've been sentenced or they are still awaiting trials. Our law allows them to keep babies for maximum period of 1.5 years, after which 18 months, after which we invite their families to come. Then if they don't come, we can now involve the welfare unit of the state. So that is in terms of inmates that we have. We don't regard.
Do you establish the status of inmates, in this case female inmates, at the point of conviction or detention, to be able to determine whether or not they were pregnant before or at the time of detention or conviction?
No, sir. At the point of admission, one of the processes they must go through is compulsory pregnancy test. So at that stage, we know, oh, she's pregnant, and she will tell us, are you pregnant? Yes, because the result is positive. And if that kind of person is still awaiting trials, as the person wakes up every day, the pregnancy is growing. If the case is yes to be disposed of, and the person gives birth, it is our law, and Nigerian Correctional Service law in our act, that that person and the baby must be taken care of.
Do you have any particular case or cases in which females who were detained in your facilities anywhere in the country came here, they were not pregnant, and while they were under your care, they got pregnant or were pregnant?
Sir, I'm more than 30 years in the service.
Wait,
Zero, sir.
don't tell me stories about how many
No,
years.
sir. No, sir. The answer is
Even
no.
if you are 2 days in service, you are supposed to have records.
Yes.
And when you take over a unit, you study the history.
Okay,
It doesn't. I'm not asking for your personal recollection.
Okay, sir.
I'm talking of your official records.
No, sir.
Can you say that on oath,
Yes, sir.
including Ogun?
Yes, sir.
Because people take the Quran and the Bible, they don't mean it, but if you put juju before then, they will hesitate.
I will, sir. I will, sir.
I think people have information to the contrary, but that's fine.
Total females we have in our custody in over 240-something custodial services is 1,793.
Yes, sir.
I am asking this question because I regularly visit prisons in Lagos, and I know that the female medium prison in Cricket itself probably has close to half of this number. So that's what I'm asking. Are you really sure that in the entire country, as we speak today, we only have 1,793 females, both convicted and awaiting trials?
Last week, Friday, Thursday, all over the week, there were some convictions and other things that were made. And there were releases of inmates from prison as well. So I want to know the correct data. Is it the correct data you are giving us as at today, this morning?
It's possible. As we are talking now, the number has changed. The courts, they are sitting. They are releasing some people. They are also remanding some people. They are also convicting some people.
In all our custodial facilities, we have industries. These industries are created in those in the correctional facilities or custodial facilities so that we can teach the convicts, only the convicts, not the awaiting trials. We have nothing to do with the awaiting trial as far as the court has not convicted them. We are only allowed to train those that are convicted. They are not yet our property. In the industry, we have different trades: carpentry, tailoring, iron bending, welding, barbers, and so many other things. Hairdressing. Besides that, by the time a convict is discharging, based on the trade that he learned, he is given certain tools according to the trade he learned, and he goes away with those tools. But we have our people that also monitor wherever they are doing the practicing what they have learned. That is what we do as far as rehabilitation is concerned. We have also schools up to PhD level. We have, I don't have the number now, but we have people that have graduated, so many people that have graduated as at all level, and NCE, HND, no, not HND, HND, okay, and NCE, OND, HND, first degree and postgraduate. Pardon? No, right in the prison. Right in the custodial center. When they graduate, we allow them go.
During campaigns and electioneering, some of them who were hardened criminal in the society and were kept away by the court, they still hire them to come back. Don't say no. If you say no,
who hires them now?
Political party. I have got about 2 that I reported to Aregbe, and he nearly dismissed the controller. Particularly in Ilesha that he's talking about. Ilesha? Yes. They were using the prison vehicle to ferry voters. That's during registration. They were using them until the DC was queried. These are, you don't say no, because when you were there, maybe you didn't do it, but that is what is going on.
Or people you trust who report to you the conduct or misconduct of prison controllers across the country. Like every part of society, you will have competent officers who will keep strictly to the law. You will also can't tell me that you are so fortunate that everybody that you have recruited and who has benefited from being employed by your correctional service, including some officers, that they are different from other officers in other security agencies or even in our National Assembly. We are not all angels. So when you say no, you are not likely to carry out investigation. If I were you, I will adopt the proverb or the philosophy of the monkey. When they accuse the monkey of stealing maize or corn in somebody's farm, he said for him, no. For the baby he carry at the back, he can't deny. Don't deny things that Because if we're asking you a question here, I can see you are wrestling with the facts. You don't have all the facts. Even the ones that are obvious to us, not to talk about the ones that are not so obvious. What I want to hear you say, we don't need to say to us, is that if you have never thought of it, or you never imagine it can happen, you will do well to do in-house quiet investigation, invite your controllers or whoever is it that manage your various facilities, and warn them about possible misuse of inmates. But I didn't get your reply to how many men you have, or officers and men, and how many do you need to sufficiently secure and provide services to your 80,000 or 90,000 inmates. I don't think I got your answer to that. And you talk about your conditions of service. You didn't quite expatiate on that. But I think I understand, because I was a former and I'm still representing the underpaid workforce of Nigeria. I understand that your conditions of service are not as attractive as that of the police, for example. I don't see any reason why they should be less favorable to the police. Because you are, in your own case, police are dealing with both criminals and non-criminals. In your own case, you are dealing with confirmed criminals and suspected criminals. So I therefore assume that your risk factor is higher. So there is no reason why you should be paid ₦1 less than any other services outside the armed forces of the army, the navy, the police, and the air force. The police and yourself should earn the same pay.